Coup leaders in Niger Republic threatens to kill Bazoum if Ecowas invades Niger. Wow. So the military junta in Niger Republic has threatened to kill the ousted President Mohamed Bazoum if Ecowas invade Niger Republic with the military. This is a big one that is coming, and I think ECOWAS actually beginning to, retrace their steps in their decisions and choosing to follow diplomacy as the best course for now, before it results into what nobody planned for. Okay, but this is the threat that is coming from the military junta in Niger Republic. Now, Niger's junta has threatened to kill deposed President Mohamed Bazoum if the Economic Community of West African States attempted any military intervention to restore his rule. Daily Mail reports that a United States military official speaking on condition of anonymity said the representatives of the junta told the U.S. Under Secretary of State Victoria Nuland of the threat to Bazoum during her visit to the country this week. Recall that Bazoum, who was deposed on July 26, and his family are being held hostage at his residence by the military forces deployed the coup leaders. The regional body had met in Abuja weeks ago and issued a 7-day ultimatum for the 7-day deadline for the Niger junta to reinstate ousted President Bazoum or risk sanctions, including possible military intervention. ECOWAS issued fresh sanctions on the Niger junta and their allies in Burkina Faso and Mali over the sacked president. Meanwhile, ECOWAS said on Thursday that it had directed the deployment of a standby force to restore democracy in Niger after the coup. However, it gave no details about the makeup, location, and proposed date of deployment for any military intervention force. In his speech at the extraordinary meeting in Abuja, President Bola Tinubu described the ongoing political crisis in Niger Republic as a threat to the stability of other West African countries. Tinubu has therefore urged ECOWAS leaders that the Union should prioritize diplomacy in settling the political crisis in Niger. Wow. May they not use diplomacy now, so that they will see what you will follow up. Okay. So what is happening here is that when Victoria Nuland, the Under Secretary of State of the United States, visited Niger and met with some of the officials, because we are aware that she didn't even see the junta himself. The junta delegated some other military officials to see her. And in that meeting, they told her that if ECOWAS should attempt to invade Niger using military force, that they will be left with no choice but to delete the deposed President Mohamed Bazoum. And that is a very key threat, very serious threat. And I think on that, ECOWAS and United Nations and AU need to tread carefully, because if they do anything, once the people feel any form of threat from the military, the next thing is they will delete the man. And that is not what they want to see. And they may not delete only him, they will delete him with all his families and allies that have been put into house arrest. Okay, so, but we know that on the meeting that ECOWAS heads of state had in Abuja on Thursday, that was yesterday, they agreed on two things. One is to, trigger the movement of the soldiers that have been put on standby against Niger Republic. And this Bodo did not give the date and time and when they will deploy the soldiers to go and invade Niger Republic. But Tinubu, as the chairman of the ECOWAS, has told all the ECOWAS state members to exercise caution and to use peace and use diplomacy as the best approach to resolving the problem. So they are thinking of, because again, Tinubu hands are tied since the request he made to Nigerian Senate to allow him to deploy soldiers, the letter was declined and was not signed or approved by the Senate. That is leaving him a kind of weakened, and that is having his hand tied now So there's a little or nothing that he can actually do about it. That is a very serious one. Okay, so with the way it is now, they need to tread carefully with respect to this issue in Niger. Okay, even though they are still giving sanctions, because Nigerian government has cut off the light, has blocked all the borders, and has also ordered the freezing of the account of people that are encouraging the coup in Niger Republic, supporting the junta directly or indirectly. And all of these sanctions are biting hard right now. But even at that, the military junta in Niger is not backing down. He has decided to uphold his actions as a way. And he actually appointed a new prime minister. And what he wants is a change in government. And that is what he wants. But again, Ecowas is trying to apply force, okay, by trying to get their soldiers to get into Niger, even though they have not given us date and time yet. But from all indications, they are ready and just waiting for the last call to trigger, and then they will move into Niger. But again, it's not going to be easy as they think, because already Burkina Faso and Mali are on standby with Niger Republic, waiting for them, because they have warned United Nations, AU, and Ecowas that any attempt to invade Niger Republic will be treated as war and would meet the same level of resistance, and they will fight with their last blood. So meaning that war is looming in Niger, even though the Western world, including France, are pushing ECOWAS leadership, including Tinubu, to take military action against Niger. But we have to be very careful, because doing that will throw war into the West African countries and as a territory. And once that starts, that is going to adversely affect almost all the countries in the Ecowas and some part of Africa. And that again will destabilize the West African territory and also the entire Africa as a region, as a continent. Okay, and so we have to be very careful with whatever action that we are taking. But the way it is here, the man in Niger is not backing down, and is ready to take any drastic action. And once he knows that they are coming, the next thing is to do what he has promised to do, which is deleting the deposed president, and then fight will start earnestly. That will be a very serious one. Let's think at it very well, because it's not going to be as fast as they think. Just like somebody was saying that when Russia was going to Ukraine, they were so proud and bold and confident that they will finish Ukraine in a matter of weeks. Now it is over a year and the matter is not going anywhere, even though there has been a lot of destructions. But then the war is still very, very far from being won. Okay, so we need to be careful, because it is easier to see from far and think you can just go and scale through. But to the greatest surprise of people, you might start it and it makes a different turn, and you find yourself not moving forward as expected. That will be very, very disappointing and very frustrating. So that is the promise the military junta in Niger Republic has made. If they do anyhow, they see anyhow. If ECOWAS will enter Niger with military force, they will delete the ousted president first, and then fight will start. So thank you for listening. Let's have your comment on this matter, even as the man is still threatening.